DefkoN. I'll do the official introduction in a little bit, seeing his rival is not in the room yet. Alright, welcome back after that awesome interview. Thank you, Rival, for doing that right before the big match with DefkoN here. So it is Rival versus DefkoN. Neither of these teams having been defeated thus far in this CGO 9. It is Sunday, second half of our tournament. It is the winner's bracket. Hot damn, this is going to be nice. Alright, looks like we're seeing some interesting people join in. Rival and DefkoN both looking, DefkoN their usual strengths. Couple teams came close so far, but no upsets like last time. Rival has looked especially good this CGO, cruising through their bracket. No offense to Heat, but Heat got dominated by Rival earlier on yesterday, and we did cast that match, so I would recommend watching it if possible. But they're looking very strong, and they hope to bring that strength in against a team that they much needed against, DefkoN. So I got my co-caster here, Al/Game Master.
Hello, guys.
He's back again today, and he's going to give you the lineup for both of these teams here.
Absolutely. So here we have with T as a rifleman, Become as his appointment, Lee Hyori, difficult name, as a sniper, as we saw last CGO, Dragonad as a rifleman, Seismic as a rifleman, and in the other hand, in DefkoN, we've got Platinum R as a rifleman, Skidoodle as a sniper, we will see him epically again, Marco 3D as a rifleman, Corrupt as a rifle, named Chili this time I think, Snow Shovel as a rifleman too, so interesting game.
Yeah, we earlier, right before the game, we were actually told that Chili is only just playing on Corrupt's account. Corrupt is not actually playing. So we will try to refer to him as Chili. We might mess up, but no big deal. Corrupt has graciously lent his account to his teammate Chili. So we're going to start. They're starting the ban process here. DefkoN being the higher seed, they've banned Cannon for the first one. DefkoN really, I guess they did not like how they saw Rival play in there, electing to ban that first off, which is an interesting play. Kind of makes me think, is DefkoN worried here a little bit?
They might be. We saw Rival with a real solid defense on last stream against Heat, so they banned Cannon, maybe thinking about that.
And Rival has banned Hammerblow. I'm calling that it's going to be Black Scent or Dual Sight here. Though it already is set on India. Maybe they're just going to go for it. Airplane, surprised it's a third ban. Interesting.
Not many tactics have appeared in Airplane so far.
As far as I've seen, nobody wants to play that at all.
Big Mac for 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Ooh. Oh, of course, Rival has banned Black Scent after a very embarrassing showing last CGO on Black Scent. Definitely they don't want to repeat that.
Chili bans supply.
It's gonna be dual scent or India, or dual site or India. Woo! Rival's gonna get to pick this map, dual site or India, and it's gonna be dual site.
Last time I've seen Rival play in dual site, they were really powerful here, but we see DefkoN with the pro players get lined up, so I think this is going to be a real difficult game for each of the clans. Both have a real high standard, and we'll see them fighting for the CGO in this map.
The loser of this game, since they're both undefeated here, the loser is going to go down to the losers bracket and still have a chance to win the overall CGO. So this will not put either team out of the running. Getting everything set here. Everybody's making sure they don't have any EA08 armor, as we accidentally saw a few people have that 2 weeks ago. Roxanne wants to make a shout out. I don't know to whom, but Roxanne! Hopefully that's good enough. Congrats, Roxanne.
And a message, Roxanne, we should say?
Not many people can make me break into falsetto.
Yeah. Roxanne is just special after 3v1 clutches.
Alright, both teams are readied up. And we're gonna get it underway.
I'm really looking forward for this game. It's going to be real interesting to watch.
The last time I saw Rival play here, I believe they lost the DTH in the semifinals of ISF. So I'm hoping they do a little bit better this time.
Double push at mid by No Shovel and Michael 3D.
Interesting start here. I've seen them push mid before with 2 people, but they don't often do that on the very first round. Sumin, Become, and Seismic all in mid with Snow Shovel and Michael 3D. They're going to come to a firefight here in just a second.
Here it comes.
Bullets exchange, Snow Shovel gets the better. Skadoodle picks T, Michael 3D gets Seismic. Snow gets Sumin. And just like that, DefkoN takes a huge advantage here, 5-on-2.
Becomes falling back.
Mid. He's moving up mid with his scope, trying to get picks. He knows there are 3 guys around the corners here.
Chili coming down for Lehigh Yori, sorry.
Corrupt right around the corner. Snow Shovel caught a nade from Become. Lee picks Michael 3D around that corner. 4-on-2 now. Lee's looking up. Gets Corrupt / Chili. Becomes there to save him from Snow Shovel. 2-on-2 now. Rival making a freaking sweet comeback there. Was 5-on-2. Now it's 2-on-2.
Lee going big again.
Lee getting 2 kills there. Not out of the woods yet, however, as Skadoodle and Platinum are still alive. Become and Lee moving together, synchronized above that ladder. 30 seconds left on the clock. Platinum are in the tunnel down at 2.
Gonna push 2 hard.
And they're gonna push 2. Platinum hears him. And he will get picked by Lee. Lee going huge in the first round, getting 3. Skadoodle the only one left.
Up to Skadoodle now.
He's gonna come through tunnel. Lee's got a scope on the tunnel. Battle of the Titans here, and Lee gets a 4K. Drops Skadoodle. 1-0 for Rival.
Lee Hyori going big again. Nearly
Looks like
DefkoN.
Lee has broken his streak against playing poorly against DefkoN.
Game hasn't finished yet, but he's playing really nice for the start.
Rivals carefully moving that C4 up to 1 bridge. Michael 3D and Snow Shovel having been back. Not going to push that again, even though they did manage to take the advantage with it last time.
Snow Shovel comes back to base.
C4's moving down from 1 bridge. Looks like Rival has decided it's being a little bit too risky pushing up there. Chili, Skadoodle, and Michael 3D are stacked at 1, leaving Snow and Platinum to defend 2.
Seems like they're all gonna push 2.
Michael 3D has rotated over to 2 to help out, leaving Chili and Skadoodle at 1, but all of Rival is set up on that 2 side. Something's brewing here. 1 minute and 10 to go.
Really confuses me, the new minutes of the demolition time limits.
And they're gonna push in! Michael 3D and Platinum are the only 2 left. Michael and Platinum both get a kill. Seismic puts down, oh man, Seismic puts down Michael. Platinum R gets Lee. Sumin kills his own teammate and then gets killed by Platinum R.
Snow Shovel gets them.
It's really hard to watch out for some of those team kills.
Seems like a real tight game, Jim.
Real close. Skadoodle misses that pick on Become there.
He gets picked down with Snow Shovel in mid.
Fire in the hole!
Rivals left that C4 in mid, setting up around it, not quite sure where to push. Sumin's grabbing the C4 and looks like he's going to take it to the bathroom.
C4's going bathroom here, and 3 guys in mid.
Fire in the hole!
Looks like it's shaping up to be some sort of split push. Seismic possibly thinking about going to their spawn, but nope, he's coming around back to 1 bridge.
Seems like Chili has spotted them in mid.
Chili up at 1 bridge. He and Seismic exchanging a couple shots. Seismic getting the worst of the deal, being put down to about 2/3 of his health.
Rotating to 2 by DefkoN.
4 on 4 now. Seismic gets Corrupt out of that top mid. Chili pushing up a little bit further than probably.
C4 going back to base. Seems like they're rotating to 1.
Skadoodle being the lone defender at 1. Sumin's going to move in. 30 seconds left to go. Scad picks Sue. Scad is on site. Looks like DefkoN's rotating over. Seismic misses Michael 3D there. Scad picks Become. Lee's alone 1 on 4, and he gets put down by Snow Shovel there with 15 seconds left in the round. 2-1 for DefkoN.
Snow Shovel getting some interesting picks, and Skadoodle defending pretty nicely, won by himself many times.
Yeah, after 3 rounds, we've got Lee carrying his team at 4-2, but Lee has not gotten a kill since that first round. T still with 0 kills, Sumin at 1-3. He did kill his teammate, however. Snow Shovel at 4-1, and Scad at 3-1. Skadoodle gets a pick off at the very beginning behind that tank down there on Seismic.
Snow Shovel for the push in mid, and gets Become.
Skadoodle picks Sumin, Lee picks Snow Shovel. T gets Michael 3D, Lee picks Skadoodle as well, back down to a 2-on-2. T gets Corrupt
2-on-1
/ Chili. Platinumar is at 1 on the grass beneath 1 bridge, and C4 with T looks to have been going to 2.
Seems like Lee is back this round.
He stopped going to 2 and delayed long enough that Platinumar is actually going to be able to set up into and predict it. Really interesting strategy by Rival there to not push it immediately, because Platinumar now has a chance to take out T here and possibly win the round. Platinumar and T getting in a firefight. Lee picking Platinum, going big again for his team. Lee's hit and miss here, but this time he did hit. 7-2.
Both killed the team by themselves. Lee took 3 picks down and T took 2.
Rival's taking over the bathroom.
It's an enemy grenade.
DefkoN for the rotate.
Lee gets Michael, Corrupt gets Seismic, doubles it up on Lee, Platinumar gets Become, Sumin gets Corrupt, Snow kills Sue, and T is the last one left alive, with all 3 of DefkoN set up around the bomb in 2.
Spotted, no Snow Shovel camping. Running back to bathroom.
Skadoodle above at mid, making sure T can't get up the ladder and around behind.
Seems like T is actually expecting it.
He walks in, but Snow Shovel takes him down with the para right there.
Your efforts are commended.
Lee's going huge for his team here, but Become, Sumin, and Seismic are not backing him up very well, and indeed T isn't doing well either.
Seems that only Lee Hyori is playing by himself, but we can see that the rest of the team with a T4, T5, T5, and 1-4. Lee is the only one positive with a 2.5 SD.
Scad gets a pick off on Sumin after Sumin was alone outside. Lee comes out with him as well, hoping to get some kind of pick. Rival still pushing 1. They jump over 1 bridge. T gets Michael 3D. Corrupt gets him. Seismic takes down Corrupt / Chili. Firefights exchanged. Become is trying to prevent anyone from getting on top of 1. Snow Shovel is right around the corner. Scad picks Lee. Become gets dinked through those sandbags.
We can see Skadoodle real lit, but still got the pick.
Snow out-parried Become on top of that 1 site. Seismic is alone. Very little health on top of that tarp. Three to 2 for DefkoN. Rival has managed to win 2 rounds here. Looking a little shaky now, but this is offense.
Snow Shovel going on top of 1.
Seismic with 45 seconds to go. Really not much of a chance for him to do anything. He will probably try something drastic. Snow is right in there. ready to pick him if he comes in. It's an interesting spot. Platinumar gets a quick shot off on him.
Return to main base. Your efforts are commended.
4-2 for DefkoN.
We can see DefkoN going solid on defense now. Lacked a little bit on the first rounds, but now going real solid.
Well, it's just one of DefkoN's strengths that they can adapt to most situations. Rival debating some kind of mid push.
Skadoodle going top of one.
Fire in the hole!
C4 is down in the bathrooms.
Knowing Rival, I think they will rotate back to one after some crossfire.
Fire in the hole!
I think they're going to try heading up the spawn. Really, really interesting. Michael 3D is right there. Undercover smoke right next to those sandbags.
Sumin is at the back with the C4, not pushing that much. Probably
Michael
waiting for
3D
his
sees
teammate.
Seismic but doesn't react and tries to get away. It does fail. T takes down Snow Shovel. Platinum gets him. Snow Shovel gets Seismic. Scad picks Lee. Sumin gets Platinum. One-on-one.
1v1.
Sumin versus Skadoodle.
Sumin running back to base, while Skadoodle grabbed the M4.
It's interesting. Sumin has decided against running all the way back to 1. Trying to bait Skadoodle out of 2. Skadoodle is not leaving. Well, mainly looking at the score, Sumin at 3 and 6, Skadoodle at 8 and 2. One would give the round away to DefkoN. Skadoodle finally deciding to leave. Sumin opening up on him.
30 seconds.
Skadoodle is wise to the attempted tunnel, but Sumin's backed off out of the tunnel. He's coming up to spawn.
20 seconds to plant or to kill Skadoodle.
He's got 10 seconds left to go. He's not going to try and plant the bomb.
Or he will.
At 2, he's going to go to 1.
No
And
time.
Skadoodle just has to wait him out.
Time.
Man, if Sumin had to try it, but he did not have enough time to plant at 1. I don't know quite what he was thinking.
Every player needs 4 seconds to plant a C4 and he was 1 second short.
Бросаю гранату! Бросаю гранату! Бросаю гранату!
Really, just a round lost on just a bad decision there.
As I said before, probably the time limits confuse the players now. Less time to react.
Противник! Граната!
Some pre-nades going out onto Rival, who's 3 stacking that 1 perch and that entire side. Seismic and Sumin coming up 1 bridge. 5-2 for DefkoN here.
Interesting how they stack in 1 and they left mid clear.
Lee gets the pick off on Skadoodle at the very beginning. Michael 3D gets him for his trouble. Snow Shovel puts down Sumin. Doubles it up with T. Wow! Michael 3D and Snow Shovel getting doubles. Seismic the only one left. And Platinumar will move in for the flank.
And here we go for the first pass, right?
Yeah, that's the first half. Rival had it tied up 2-2, but they could not win another round on offense.
So we have a 6-2 for DefkoN.
Yep, meaning DefkoN has to win, 3 rounds to keep to tie, maybe 4 to win it here. And, alright. All right, we're waiting at halftime here. DefkoN has just beat Rivals 6-2.
You think this will change, Jim, on the attacking for Rival?
I'm not sure. I have not seen many of DefkoN's offensive strats here, but they sure shut Rival down for the most part on defense.
The 6-2 against DefkoN is not easy to turn back.
Definitely not. Looks like are they going to sub out Zoom in for Dragon 4D here? It's looking that way.
Let's see if Lee Hyori can keep on that sniping for the second part.
If Lee keeps up his sniping, he's been doing really well. I'm sure that they can at least mount a good enough attempt, but they've got to reach deep to pull something out of their hats because they're far behind DefkoN here.
This will be difficult, but not impossible.
Alright, DefkoN is moving with a pretty balanced setup here. Michael 3D rushing the bathrooms. C4 with Skadoodle and Platinum heading up to the perch. Watch Michael 3D here. See how he elects to try to play that bathroom. Rushing as a point man, but he hasn't elected to go in. Interesting that Michael 3D is actually using every single primary ammo that he can. He has 3165 for his Varesk there. Just giving us a clue into the minds of how these professional players twink out their characters, I suppose.
I don't think he might be able to use such many bullets on this rounds, but might be useful for him.
Fire in the hole!
Well, one problem with the Varesk with no ammo things is it does run out very quickly. But
yeah.
I think 165 is just a huge amount. And he will put it to good use killing T there. Dragon 4D getting Platinum R.
Backstabs Dragon. That was some lack of defense by Lee Hyori.
4 against 2 here. And the bomb is down. Lee and Become trying to move in to take it out. Become gets corrupted, but Michael 3D gets a double, dropping a 4K. Good thing we were watching him, viewers, because, wow, that Varesk really showing us. Seismic pulling the same thing, rushing into mid. Michael 3D and Snow Shovel are below him. And they've moved into Site 2. They've taken it over. Site 2 is theirs. Lee's picked Michael. Snow Shovel gets him for his trouble. C4 is now rotating through the bathroom. Into 2. Seismic has dropped down the ladder, and he will present a problem for Skadoodle and Platinum R here. He is hidden from their sight for now.
We see a 4v2 situation. I mean, 3v3 situation, sorry.
3v3 now. Skadoodle was wise to Seismic tactic there.
Seems that Skadoodle spotted T and ladder.
Skadoodle misses that shot. Dragon 4D and Become coming down from the other way. Platinum R and Snow Shovel taking him out. T alone on 3. Platinum R takes him down.
Skadoodle quick switch too quickly.
Maybe he quick switched too quickly. I honestly think that we miss a lot of the shots with this this particular implementation of first-person spectate here. Seismic gets an early pick-off corrupt, having pushed up to mid. Become does the same with Michael 3D. Seismic doubles it up on Snow Shovel. 5-on-2 now for Rival. Platinum R and Skadoodle around 1. Skadoodle picks T. Dragon gets around behind Skadoodle. Skadoodle could not hear the grassy footsteps for some reason. Platinum R alone. Become will take him out 2-1 for DefkoN. Rival having made 1 round back up. like a big mid push by DefkoN here.
Become going to learn to too.
Snow Shovel gets Seismic from mid. T gets Snow Shovel. T doubles it up with Chili.
Might get Michael Finity as his low HP too.
Skadoodle gets in there and picks him. 3 on 3 now. C4 is near bathrooms. It's going to rotate over to 1. Lee versus Skadoodle up there.
Michael 3D pretty lit after this crossfire.
Lee picks Skadoodle with a headshot there. 3 on 2. He gets a double. Gets Michael 3D. Platinumar takes out Dragon. 2 on 1 now.
Lee Haro
Become rotating as quickly as he can to try to help out Lee here.
Lee Haro below. Platinum going top. Seems like Lee Haro decided to hunt him.
He's on top 1. Both players know where he is. Lee sneaks up from below. Gets him. Lee going massive that round, getting a 3K, bringing Rival back from the edge of the cliff there. 2-2 here.
Lee Haro going great again.
T gets Chili out of the mid really fast. Gets Michael 3D while Seismic gets Snow Shovel. Rival's really shutting down that DefkoN mid push. 5 on 2 again for Rival here.
T going pretty solid on mid.
Skadoodle and Lee picking each other, trying to pick each other through the double doors. Skadoodle will back out of it. He will see Lee. He will get him. Lee misses his shot.
Fire in the hole!
They both move on top of 1 here.
C4 top of 1 with Platinumar.
Skadoodle picks T. T gets Platinumar. Skadoodle 1 on 3. And Dragon 4D will get him.
Failure. Return to main base.
That's a real difficult situation for a scoper when you're getting pushed up by 3 players.
Бросаю гранату. Бросаю гранату.
Man, Rivals come back and they're now leading it. The first time I've ever seen them leading DefkoN 3-2. Skadoodle gets an early pick on Become but dies to Seismic's M4. Dragon gets Platinumar.
Бросаю гранату.
4 on 2. Lee throws a bomb of a nade. Seismic gets Chili. 4 on 2 now. Snow Shovel and Michael 3D. Lee gets Snow. Michael 3D is alone, on top, with no health. Seismic takes him down 4-2 for Rival.
Return to main base.
4 and 2.
Commander.
So the comeback is actually closer every round.
Let's see how Rival chooses to use this huge momentum that they're getting.
3 guys pushing mid from Rival.
Big push by DefkoN into the bathroom. Seismic gets Chili. Skadoodle picks Become. Become having pushed up a little bit.
4v4 situation.
Lee gets Michael 3D. Seismic gets Snow Shovel. 4 on 2 now. Platinumar and Skadoodle, no strangers to being alone against a couple of Rival members here. I guess it's 3 on 2, excuse me.
Yep. Dragonart taking top of 1, while Seismic taking 2, and Lee Haro taking base. Might be having some crossfires with Skadoodle.
Dragon leaving 1, interesting choice. Lee coming back to it.
Fire in the hole!
Lee now with that smoke, wise to DefkoN shenanigans here. Skadoodle right there. Lee versus Skadoodle, but Platinumar gets a nade off on Lee. 2 on 2.
Platinum top of 1, probably gonna go inside 1
Skadoodle
now.
coming in from behind, trying to get
1
that
minute.
pick on Dragon 4D. Seismic right there. Seismic does not back Dragon up. Skadoodle gets an amazing pick there.
Return to main base.
Oh man, bringing it back to 4-3 for Rival.
Yeah,
And-
seems like it finished.
That is the game. Rival had
So-
tried, but they could not stop DefkoN from getting those 3-round wins that they needed. Good play by both teams. but Rival just couldn't quite pull out enough on the defensive to stop DefkoN from taking that game. Rival's now going to move down to the losers bracket, where they'll have a little bit of a break before they play the next teams. And DefkoN is going into the finals with 0 losses, so whoever comes up to try to face DefkoN again is going to have to beat them twice, and that is something that's looking very, very difficult to do. Alright, the next game, guys, we're going to be casting is Andromeda versus Wildplay, so stay tuned here. In about 10 minutes, we'll have that out for you. Thanks a ton.
Thanks. Hope you enjoy it.
Oh, man. There's